What if I told you the moment that changed Cristiano Ronaldo forever wasn't a goal, a trophy, or even a final? It was a sentence. A simple sentence, whispered behind closed doors, that reshaped the way he saw the game and himself. This isn't just about football. It's about leadership, legacy, and the quiet power of choosing who you want to be. Stay with us. Because once you hear it, you'll never look at Ronaldo the same way again. Cristiano stood in front of the mirror in the locker room, his jersey still sticking to his back from sweat. The match had just ended, another win, another goal, another flash of brilliance. But he didn't feel right. Something was off. His reflection stared back at him, clean-cut fade, chiseled jaw, perfectly defined body. But beneath all that, there was something unsettled in his eyes. Frustration. Doubt. Not about his skill, never that, but about something harder to define. "Did you see how they looked at me after I took that shot?" he muttered to himself. "Should have passed." He kicked the bench lightly, not enough to draw attention, just enough to let the tension slip. Around him, the locker room buzzed, teammates laughing, changing, planning their nights out. But Ronaldo stayed locked in that moment. That look from Giggs. That sigh from Scholes. And worst of all, the quiet shake of the head from Sir Alex. He had scored. But he hadn't played like part of the team. The door creaked. Sir Alex stepped in. He didn't shout. He didn't raise an eyebrow. He just walked up to Ronaldo and said, calmly, "A mirror tells you how you look. But a team tells you who you are." Then he walked out. That was it. No tactics. No lecture. Just that. Cristiano froze. That sentence didn't come from a manager, it came from someone who knew him deeper than he thought possible. He sat down. The room felt smaller now. He replayed the moment, how he'd cut in from the wing, ignored Rooney's run, faked left, shot right, and scored. The crowd loved it. The cameras caught it. But the bench didn't even stand. A team tells you who you are. What did that mean? He looked around. Everyone else had showered and left. Cristiano stayed, sitting in front of the mirror. Still in his kit. Still replaying that one sentence. He remembered something his mother once said. You can't be the best if no one wants to follow you. It hit him harder now. The next morning, he arrived early. Before the trainers. Before the lights. He taped a note inside his locker. Play to win. Win with the team. And underneath, he wrote Sir Alex's words. That day, he passed more than he ever had. He didn't score. But Rooney did, twice. And after the match, Scholes slapped his back, laughing. Who are you and what have you done with Ronaldo? Cristiano smiled. Just a little. Back in the locker room, he glanced at the mirror again. He looked the same. But he felt different. And for the first time, he started to understand something. Talent could win matches. But understanding others? That's what builds legends. The rain hit Carrington like it was angry. The sky was gray, soaked in frustration. It matched Ronaldo's mood perfectly. That week, training had been brutal. Not because of drills, not because of sprints, but because of the silence. Silence from Rooney. Silence from the midfielders. Even Giggs, usually quick with a joke, had gone cold. Cristiano had been trying, he really had. Passes, movement, reading runs. But he could feel the hesitation around him. Like they didn't trust it yet. Like they were waiting to see if it would stick or if he'd snap back into his old ways. And Sir Alex? He didn't say much. Just watched. Always watching. Silence is worse than yelling, Cristiano thought, kicking a wet ball toward the fence after training. It thudded off and rolled back slowly, like even the pitch didn't want to respond. He stayed behind again that evening. Everyone else had left. He practiced passing angles, 1-2s with the wall, movement patterns without a partner. The rain kept coming. So did the doubt. He sat under the small covered bench near the corner flag, soaked but still not ready to leave. Then he heard footsteps. Sir Alex. Umbrella in hand, coat wrapped tight. But no surprise on his face. Like he expected him to be there. "Thought you'd be gone by now," the manager said. Cristiano shook his head. "Couldn't leave." Sir Alex sat beside him, umbrella barely covering them both. "You know what I told Keane once," he said. "That sometimes, to lead, you have to disappear for a while. Let others find their space." Cristiano frowned. "Disappear?" "Not literally. Just stop being the center. See what rises around you. Then lift that up." Cristiano stared at the soaked pitch. "I don't want to fade," he muttered. Sir Alex chuckled. "Son, I didn't say fade. I said pause. Let them breathe. Then show them you can carry more than just a ball." The wind howled through the trees. The storm above felt like nothing compared to the one inside him. But something about those words, pause, breathe, lift, settled him. Next match, he barely touched the ball in the first half. He ran, covered, pulled defenders. Second half, he assisted twice. No fancy moves. No drama. But when the final whistle blew, Rio Ferdinand ran to him first. Rooney bumped his shoulder, smiling. Even Giggs ruffled his hair. In the dressing room, Sir Alex didn't say a word. Just gave him a nod. And that meant more than any goal he'd ever scored. That night, Ronaldo wrote another note in his locker. Make space. Not just for the ball, for others. He was starting to learn that silence isn't always rejection. Sometimes, it's room for growth. And he wasn't done growing. Not yet. The match was wide open. It was the 72nd minute. United were up by 1, but the opponents were pressing hard. The game was tight, and Old Trafford was roaring. Every heartbeat in the stadium was echoing through Ronaldo's chest. He picked up the ball near midfield. The left wing was clear. Just him and the grass. His legs knew what to do. A step over. A burst of pace. A feint that sent the defender the wrong way. He was inside the box in seconds. Goal in sight. He could hear the crowd rising. He could feel the adrenaline surge. He could shoot. He should shoot. But then, he caught a glimpse. Rooney. In the middle. Unmarked. For half a second, he hesitated. A younger version of him would have taken the shot. No doubt. But this version, the one shaped by silence, by storm, by lessons he was still learning, this one passed. It was perfect. Rooney didn't even need to adjust. He tapped it in. The stadium exploded. But Cristiano didn't celebrate right away. He just stood there, chest heaving, staring at the spot where he made the choice. It felt strange. Not bad. Not empty. Just different. Rooney ran back, arms wide, and pulled him into a hug. "Didn't think you had that in you," he joked. Cristiano smiled. "Neither did I." In the locker room, the energy was electric. Laughter, high fives, even Scholes clapped his back. Sir Alex walked by, paused just for a moment, and simply said, "That assist? That's the one I'll remember." Cristiano sat down slowly. He realized something. For so long, he had been chasing goals. Chasing headlines. Chasing numbers. But maybe, legacy wasn't built by what you took. Maybe it was built by what you gave. That night, when he got home, he didn't head straight for the shower like usual. He sat at the kitchen table with a pen and his notebook. Legacy is the space you leave behind, not the spotlight you stand in. He looked out the window. The Manchester sky was overcast, but peaceful. He didn't feel like he'd lost anything. He felt like he was becoming someone worth following. Not just for the fans, but for the team. And maybe, for himself. There was no armband on his sleeve. Not tonight. Neville was still captain, and rightfully so. But something shifted that game, something only a few noticed. United were away. Cold night. Tight pitch. Hostile crowd. One of those matches where the ball barely stays on the ground and tempers run hotter than tactics. Cristiano got fouled, hard. Twice. Then a third time. He looked at the ref. Nothing. He looked at the sideline. Sir Alex just gave him a glance that said, "You already know what to do." The old Cristiano would have snapped. Argued. Lost focus. Instead, he stood up. Dusted off his shorts. Walked back. Next play, the ball rolled loose in midfield. Scholes got crunched. He stayed down. Rooney shouted at the ref. Giggs gestured furiously. Cristiano? He ran to Scholes. Helped him up. Whispered something. Scholes nodded. Then, something unexpected. Cristiano turned to the rest of the team and clapped. Once. Loud. Then again. Let's go. Stay focused. It wasn't a scream. It wasn't drama. But they heard him. The entire team shifted. Rooney jogged back into position. Giggs tightened the line. Even Ferdinand raised his hand in sync. That was the moment. He didn't wear the armband. But he didn't need it. At halftime, no one spoke about tactics. They spoke about Cristiano. Did you see him calm things down? Never thought he'd lead like that. Different side of him tonight. Second half? They won. 1-0, ugly. Gritty. The kind of win titles are made of. In the tunnel, Neville walked beside him. You know, he said, leadership isn't about age or badges. It's about timing. Cristiano looked confused. Timing? Neville nodded. Knowing when to speak, and when to stand up. You got that right tonight. Cristiano didn't say much back. But it stayed with him. That night, he opened his locker. Pulled out his notebook. Added a new line. You don't need the band to lead. Just the courage to be first when no one else moves. He looked at the empty armband hook inside his locker. And for the first time, he didn't crave it. He respected it. He knew he wasn't there yet. But now, he was on the road. And every step after that felt different. More grounded. More aware. More like someone they'd follow. Even without the band. It was a quiet morning. The kind you don't expect big moments to come from. No thunder. No speech. Just fog over Carrington and cold air hanging low. Cristiano walked in early. As usual. The dressing room was still. Kits laid out. The hum of the heater the only sound. Sir Alex was already there. Sitting by the small office just past the lockers. Door open. A cup of tea in his hand. Come in, he said, without looking up. Cristiano stepped inside. Closed the door. That click of the door behind him felt louder than it should have. Sir Alex pointed to the chair across from him. Cristiano sat, waiting. He didn't know what this was about. Tell me, Sir Alex started, what kind of player do you want to be? Cristiano blinked. I want to be the best. The best at what? He hesitated. At scoring. Winning. Breaking records. Sir Alex leaned in, eyes narrowing. That's not good enough. Cristiano's heart raced. The manager set down his cup. Let me ask again. What kind of man do you want to be on that pitch? Now he was quiet. Sir Alex continued. You're going to win trophies. You'll break records. I don't doubt that. But if no one remembers how you made them feel, what's it for? He let the words settle. Then leaned back and said a sentence that would change everything. It's not about being the best in the world. It's about being the best for the world. Cristiano didn't speak. He couldn't. Not right away. He sat with that sentence long after the meeting ended. Training felt different. Every touch. Every pass. He started seeing teammates, not just space. Hearing voices, not just instructions. Feeling the heartbeat of the team, not just his own ambition. That weekend, they played a match no one remembers for the score. But fans remember how Ronaldo tracked back 40 yards to stop a counter. They remember how he pulled a younger player out of a scuffle. How he passed up a hat trick to let a struggling teammate score. Sir Alex said nothing afterward. He didn't need to. Ronaldo's game had changed. But more importantly, so had his reason. That night, back home, the notebook came out again. He didn't write much. Just 4 words. Make it mean something. Years later, after Ballon d'Ors and Champions League titles, when asked what shaped him the most, he didn't talk about goals or medals. He mentioned a sentence in a small office on a foggy morning. The sentence that didn't just change his game. It changed his purpose. And from that day on, every time he stepped onto the pitch, he wasn't just playing for greatness. He was playing for something greater. It wasn't the records or the headlines that defined him, it was the choice to be something more. A teammate. A leader. A man with purpose. And that all started with a sentence. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you see greatness differently, subscribe to the Ronaldo Chronicles. Because there's so much more than what you've seen on the pitch. And trust me, the best stories are still to come.